Let me bang.
I do let you bang. Hey,
let me bang you, James, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
MMA Roasted podcast. Me, Adam Hunter, here with Bill Dawes, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who I don't know where he is half the time. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I travel a lot, but you have like two homes. You actually have a home in LA,
yeah,
a home in Texas. You're paying double rent?
Well, luckily I've been able to do a little Airbnb action.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Don't tell the owner of the Laugh Factory.
I will. I was gonna say, like, does your wife know people are like staying there, or you're?
Yeah,
yeah.
You haven't seen my place in LA, but it's literally like, it's not even considered a studio. Like, there's a level under studio. I think it's called like a bachelor studio.
Wow.
It's like a kitchen bathroom combination unit.
You're like the most successful actor I know. One of them. And you have a bachelor's. Welcome to Hollywood, people, where you work more than 99.999% of actors, and you can one day get a bachelor studio. That's awesome.
But I don't have roommates.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Well, and then you have a beautiful girl, though. Your daughter's adorable, and your baby mama's beyond hot. So
yeah.
Good work, man. You know, definitely always been. Now you were in San Diego last week?
Oh yeah, the Laugh Factory there. Have you done the Laugh Factory there?
No. How is it?
It's great. You've had headline. You probably had your own headlining club in San Diego, though.
No, San Diego's the one place that I do a lot of rooms.
I
don't have like a headlining club.
Ask Enrique for a weekend, or
Yeah.
at least a night. I just did a night.
Yeah. Did you have to like bring everybody? Was it like a whole thing you had to promote it, or was there like a built-in audience?
It's hard to tell. I had about 200 people, but it was honestly like mostly free people.
Okay, all right. And then Victoria came. Victoria Vortex, the
yeah.
fighter. Yeah.
She came with her mother and her sister. And she's like, oh, my mother drove down from like Orange County. I was like, oh boy. I was so worried. She told me before the show, I'm like, oh, she's gonna hate me.
No, first of all, if your daughter's a wrestler, a world champion wrestler who's now a fighter, you probably like. Yeah, I find that like I get along with so many fighters like my humor because they're just overgrown kids. Comics are
yes, for sure.
Too, who like didn't want to get a real job, who like want to have fun for a living and don't mind struggling their whole lives and possibly never making it in order to fulfill that dream. Fighters, the same shit. It's like people go 9 to 5s, but you want to work, you want to go after your dream, but you might not make it. But you're in a gym all day. You're in a gym with people that have the same goals as you. It's like same with comedians. Like when comedians get together, nobody gets offended. Nobody cares. No one says. Nobody can't believe. Oh, I can't believe you said that. And I feel like fighters is sort of the same thing. It's like we know what we go through. Oh
yeah. I mean, you'd hope so, right? But I've had female comics get offended.
Were they newer?
I'm not saying they were newer. Yes, exactly.
Either they're newer or they're just so burnt by the business that they hate everybody. It's either they're like anybody that's like sort of in the mix, I've had people that just start comedy that like are telling me the rules of comedy. I was like, you can't punch down and you can't. Who the fuck says these people are down? Like I don't know that people that I don't know people that want to be known as down. I think everyone wants to be equal. We're all equal in the eyes of God. Everyone's equal. White, black, Asian, gay, whatever you are, or even hopefully that's not even how you actually say who you are. You're just a person who happens to be that, but you're fucking equal. There's no laws of rule. Well, I don't think it's funny if you punch down unless it's ironically like Jeselnik or Silverman. Like, get out of my fucking face.
Oh my God. Has someone actually said that to you before?
Yes.
So Jeselnik does it ironically, but everyone else we're serious.
Yeah.
What's that even mean?
You're like, what? Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me fucking make people laugh. If they want to laugh, great. If not, great. Let the fucking free market decide and just get out. Stop telling people what they can laugh at, what they can't laugh at. Stop getting offended on behalf of people.
Oh God. Well, that's all of it. That's literally all of it. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I had to call Roxanne Modifier last week. Roxanne, people are telling me I'm being mean to you. I love your jokes. Are you kidding? I'll call off the White Knights. She calls those people white. She herself is like calling off the White Knights. You know,
Wait, what was this with Roxanne? I missed this.
I was just a 10-year challenge, and I had like McLovin turn into Roxanne Modifier, and she's like, "That's hilarious." Me and Roxanne trained together. Like we've grappled a lot. Me and Roxanne. Like I like Roxanne a lot. She's a really good person. She's cool as shit. But anyway, back to me not ranting. We had a wrestling match, right? We had our first match.
Oh shit, awesome. That's right.
And it's, our first match was supposed to be weeks ago because of COVID. Totally fucked up our season. Because normally the kids train over at the high school during break, and they couldn't do that. And then this kid got COVID, that kid got COVID, blah, blah, blah. Oh,
God.
We're having to wear masks during practice, which I even said, I'm like, listen, guys, I'm not going to enforce this. Like, but I didn't say that. I go, I have really bad eyesight, so if your mask falls off, I won't be able to see it. But I'm like, man, this sport's hard enough without a fucking mask. And like,
you have to wear a mask while you roll on the mat. That's absurd.
The good thing I think is like in 5 years, we're going to have the best athletes because people are going to be having to wear masks while they're sprinting and wrestling. So they're going to be like that much better. But even so, I'm like, man, it's hard enough to get a kid to come out to wrestling. Now you put a mask on their face while they're, this is just not. Anyway, so we had our first match, and it's so funny because we had all last year off because of COVID. So normally, I have 6th, 7th, and 8th. The kids get good. They're good in 6th grader. They're okay. They're great in 7th, or they're great in 8th. And they're 8th, they're usually great if they just stuck it out, But we had no returning kids. So it's like it's having a brand new I had a brand new team. I had like 2 kids that returned. And so I tell the referee, I go, listen, we haven't had that many practices, and I only have them twice a week for an hour and 15 minutes a day, usually an hour by the time like the kids have to leave early or whatever. So can we not do like, I go, I haven't, it's a lot of times like if somebody doesn't do the referee's position or the right direction, they'll call a point, like a warning point, or lock hands. You can't lock hands unless you have the kid in a pinning position, right? So it's hard to explain that to people. Well, unless you have a leg, you can't lock your hands. And so I go, so hey, listen, can we not, could you not, make the call, blow the whistle, but let's be a little easy on these points, and the other coaches were like, absolutely, and the refs were like, totally get it, blah, blah, blah. So cut to like, it was a competitive match. My kid was down like 5-4. The other kid locked hands. I go, ref, locking hands. like, I went right back to like, I'm the one who made the fucking big stint about locking hands, and now all of a sudden I'm screaming, locking hands, dude. But this was like one of the hardest things I've ever had to coach, because normally I have other coaches, but my 2 other coaches couldn't make it. And I'm like, okay, I was going to bring my daughter, but I'm like, okay, don't bring my daughter. It was 2 matches at the same time. So there was like so I'm in the middle, coach, and then my kids are wrestling at the same time most of the times. So I'm having to look at one kid and look at the other kid and look at one kid. And these kids are like, it's not like they know what they're doing a lot of times. It's a lot of scrambling, going to their backs, like doing everything wrong, reaching back, like things that just, going for head and arms off the top. So one score is like 11-9. The other one's like 15-12. And I'm screaming fucking back. And then I don't want a parent to be like, well, why wasn't he coaching my kid? Every parent's going to be like, well, the coach. Of course. And I have nobody that knows what they're doing. Like literally nobody. My other coach,
you have no assistant at all.
No. My other coach, Tyler, I like, but he's a jiu-jitsu guy. So half the time, I don't even like what the fuck he's even yelling. I'm not telling him, hey, man, like, he's like, shoulders down. I'm like, dude, this is not jiu-jitsu. Like, no pulling guard in this fucking, like, just, I'm telling him, like, so it was a lot of that, dude. It was, my voice was gone from screaming because I don't know how to like, and then I had to go drive to Orange County to do a show in like a basement in front of 100 people, the hottest chicks ever. And I'm like, hey guys, like I could barely fucking screaming, and my head's still where that was. But it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get murdered because I like roll in and my kids are like, so they had the single legs their heads on the wrong side. The double legs are not like basic shit. I'm like, oh God, stand up's wrong. I'm looking over at the other team. They're doing Japanese arm throws, and like I think I was just looking at the wrong kids because my kids, each of them pretty much won a match. Most kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We did good. We did really good.
So did your school beat the other school?
They didn't keep score because those four other schools, 3 other schools, but we pretty much would have been probably even. It would have been a tie because it was like every kid went 1-1. One kid though who I had to kick them out of like 5 out of 7 practices so far, or 5 out of 8. And then it's just the kid just constantly either just talking, making fart jokes, mimicking me. I'm trying to give a speech. He's answering me. All right, guys, this is our big day. No, it's not. Okay, like just fucking. So he gets pinned, right? And he's in the cradle. The kid's cradling him. And he's going to the ref. I'm not pinned while he's being pinned. He's like, my shoulder's up. Then he walks off the mat. And I go, all right, man, listen, you got caught. He goes, you didn't teach me how to get out of that. I go, first of all, yes, I did. You were probably kicked out at that point. But I'm like, yeah, this is my fault. This is all this fucking kid.
Yeah, exactly. And second of all, you're not supposed to be put into a cradle.
Right.
You got to do defense before that.
That's what my middle school coach, one time I go, one time I was being pinned in 7th grade. And I was like, hey, but I had a nice bridge, right? And my coach goes, if I want to see a bridge, I'm going to move to Brooklyn. And
It's so stupid.
But it's like, it's true though. It's like,
Yeah.
But it's hard. And then I got this little girl on my team who I love coaching, but basically her brother is like a star athlete. I had her brother, and she's mad that her brother's getting all the attention. So she joined wrestling to get the attention away from her brother. Like, this is why she's joining the team. She's like most a lot of times we get girls who are kind of tomboyish, This one is not at all a tomboy. Like, she's like girly, standing like this, and I'm like, okay, guys, we got to do sprawl. She's like, I haven't had coffee in 3 days.
Now, none of the people that were there for pinned are on any of your teams now, right?
They're all in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
I had to tell one kid though, like one kid won and acted like he like won the World Series, So I had to tell the kids, hey man, act like you've been there before. I'm like, we don't want to teach us, we don't want the teams thinking we're a bunch of dickheads, right? And then I said the word dickheads, and I'm like, I probably can't say dickheads around. Dude, then we had one kid that would not shoot. One of my best kids. I guess he's like one of these kids, like, I said he's like the Mike Pyle of middle school, where like in practice, he's just the fucking greatest ever.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm like, why aren't you shooting? He looks at me during the match and he goes, I'm a defensive specialist.
Oh my God.
Then he gets put on his back 3 seconds later, and I'm like, yeah, some fucking defensive specialist, right? So then I was like, it's a third round, right? It's like 3-3, and I'm like, I go, do you want to wrestle? He's like, yeah. I go, then why are we not shooting? He goes, my finger hurts. I go, just take this fucking kid down and pin him, right? And I said the word fucking, and I'm like, oh no. But exactly what he did. He just took him down and pinned him. Like, it was.
So he won. That's good.
Yeah. But normally I go the other way. I try to like make the kids laugh if they're too stressed out, but that's always failed me. I'd be like, so you have a girlfriend or any good parties coming up? And like that's always backfired. So I think, anyway, Lauren Murphy, how are you doing?
What's up? Coaching the kids, huh?
Yeah. It's dude, we had one kid come to the match, right? And he's not on the team. So I look at him and I'm like, hey man, sorry man, this is for kids on the team. And he goes, oh, I'm his emotional support friend. I like let him stay. I'm like, all right, you can stay.
Yeah, you're like, okay,
that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Dude.
all that stuff you were talking about not being a dickhead to the other team and showing up with a competitive spirit and how not to be an asshole when you win or lose. That's all stuff that I wish I had learned when I was a kid. But instead, I had to learn it when I was like 30 years old in the UFC.
You were never a bad sport either way.
Oh, yeah, a couple times.
You might not have been there for that, Adam.
What are some of the things that you've done, like bad sportsmanship?
Oh, let's see. Bad sportsmanship. Oh, I think like just being so tense about like winning or losing and like forgetting to have fun. That definitely happened to me on Ultimate Fighter. like looking past your opponent and looking like at the end result. I've done that super publicly before. Caitlin Chukagian and I got into it after we fought and she beat me. I called her a cunt, and then like we kind of got into it on Twitter a little bit. We were never best friends after that.
Wow, you called her a cunt.
On
Wow.
Twitter, yeah, on Twitter.
Whoa.
Now,
I'm
why
surprised your
you call-
Twitter wasn't banned.
Why? Yeah. Why?
Well, I don't think it's that bad of a word. I know a lot of women in America are super against the C word, but I am like, I could not care less. Whatever.
I feel like females have the like how black people can say the N word, females can say the C word, which is like there's never gonna be oh, you said the word cunt to a girl, like right? Like we don't have a word that that only white people can say, white guys, which is probably good. Who gives a shit? But
maybe. So yeah, there's been a couple times. I just wish I had learned those lessons, when I was younger. If I had been in wrestling at all, and maybe had a wrestling coach that could have given me some guidance. I don't think you swear to kids is not even registering on like their life lessons that they're learning from wrestling and from you. Swearing.
They were all looking at parents. They were all laughing when I said dickhead. Like they were all like we got a cool coach kind of a thing, So I was like, I felt cool. I felt, what's even crazier? So this little kid who's black, he was coming to practice, right? And he was like watching practice, and I could tell he like wanted to wrestle. So I'm like, hey man, you want to come to practice? So the kid comes, and I gave him my shoes. I had these shoes that got like these fucking great wrestling shoes. And the kid wins the match. Dude, the smile on this kid's face, like literally like, oh, like, I mean, that makes everything worth it. Laura Murphy, so are you still in Dallas?
No, I'm in Houston. So
yes.
Yeah, I've been here for a couple of years now. Fucking love it. We love Houston. It's the shit.
Yeah. Okay, so you moved. Now, originally you guys moved to Dallas, or you moved to Houston?
We moved to Houston. Yeah, I've never lived in Dallas, but I think Joe's competed there a few times, and then I've been up there a couple times for different shit.
So you were at Fortis, right?
I've never been to Fortis. I've never met that coach. I know, Adam. It's like we've never met almost.
Why do I always think that you train with the Black Beast for some reason?
We do, but we're in Houston, so we both train with Bob Perez down at Main Street.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
And you're still there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I train all over Houston. The good thing about Houston is there's so many different places to train. Like, there's just so many world-renowned coaches, gyms, training partners out here. It's awesome. There's high-level jiu-jitsu and boxing and Muay Thai. So I do float around a lot, but in my last 5 fights, it's been Bob, Alex Cisne, and my husband in my corner.
Nice. Now, I think your husband's great. He got some slack for the last time, right? Which people said people were going after him, right? Like because
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm like, this fucking guy, your husband, took you guys together to a world fucking championship. Yeah. Like literally someone who walks through a gym at 23 or 22 with no combat experience. You're now fighting a girl who's had 90 fucking kickboxing fights, who's like a murderer row, and he knows you better than anyone. And he's telling you things, and because maybe you're not performing to whatever, everyone's like, she needs to get rid of that coach. And I'm like, why would, like, now?
Yeah, because DC fucking ran his mouth. DC sat in the commentator booth and fucking ran his mouth about my husband. And it's like, DC has literally never cornered his wife in a championship fucking anything. And so I know DC would have loved to have seen my husband, like, be a bigger asshole to me and really kick me in the ass to get me going in that fight. But the truth is that the reason I married my husband is because he's a good man and he treats me with kindness all the time, even in a championship fight, even in high pressure situations. And I don't want to be married to a guy that has like this hidden asshole gear that he can kick it into whenever he thinks it's necessary. So I'm very happy that I'm married to a guy that treats me with respect and kindness in all kinds of situations. And if I need somebody in my corner to get in my ass, it's definitely not going to be my husband. And I'm just so sad that DC roasted him like that, because DC doesn't have any idea how the dynamics of coaching plus a marriage, the way that our corner works, DC didn't know what he was talking about that night. And he roasted my husband really for no fucking reason. My husband is a fucking hero. Like, my husband's literally a hero. DC just
Why do you think he roasted him? Why do you think DC roasted him so much?
I think DC really tends to make it about him. So DC saw the fight And he thought to himself, this is what I would have preferred. This is what DC would have liked. And it doesn't matter what DC would have liked because it ain't DC's fight. He's not the one in there fighting. So it doesn't matter what DC would have preferred.
The last thing you want is who the fuck did I marry? Who's this guy? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's why DC is going to struggle as a commentator because as fighters, we make it all about us. We have to be selfish and we have to make it all about us. And that's how we win fights and that's how we compete. As a commentator, you have to make it all about the fighters. Do you know what I'm saying? And so for DC to make it all about him, it just shows that he hasn't really crossed over from being an athlete to being a commentator yet, So it's okay. It's just, DC's going to learn too, just like the rest of us. But I think the way that he talked about my husband that night was so uncalled for. My husband's literally a hero. He's one of the best men on earth.
I mean, your husband knows you. What would you have done differently had you, like, all of a sudden the fight's next week, you get to fight Shevchenko again? What would you have done differently?
Well, honestly, there's a couple things that really went wrong that to this day, I'm not sure. I think we did the best we could. So one thing that went wrong was I had like a bacterial gut infection. It's called C. diff. And so I was really sick.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. And
that's serious.
Yeah, it's real serious. And I had it through the fight. I mean, I had it after the fight and everything. I got a dental procedure done. They gave me antibiotics. Because of the antibiotics, I developed C. diff. And so during the camp, I had oral surgery, and that's what I had the antibiotics for. I also had a concussion during camp. And so by the time I showed up to the fight, I was just pretty depleted, honestly. And then the C. diff kind of got in my head. The other thing that happened was my coach got COVID. My head coach got COVID. And so they wouldn't let him corner me for the fight. And so those two things, it's like the choice with C. diff was either fight with this bacterial gut infection or fight on antibiotics. Those are your options, Yeah. And so we made the best choice we could make in that moment. We decided to go ahead and fight without antibiotics, right? Because I thought the antibiotics might make me feel worse than the C. diff would. When we got to fight week and they said my coach couldn't be there and that he wouldn't be able to corner me, it's like in that moment, we made the best decision we could. It was like we made the decision to go forward with the fight. But then Joe was out there cornering me basically by himself without our head coach there. He was trying to take over the striking aspect and the grappling aspect. Joe's not my striking coach. He's not an elite striker. And he's out there cornering against one of the most elite strikers in the UFC without my head coach there. Like, there was just a lot going on that night that people really didn't know about. But if DC had been a little more observant, he could have seen that we were down one man in the corner. He could have seen that we were short one coach if he had really been paying attention. But he was too busy talking about what DC would have preferred.
So Shevchenko, was her speed, like, were you not expecting her to be that fast?
Oh, I was expecting her to be fast. Yeah, I knew I kind of go into every fight assuming they're going to be faster than me. Let's not play around. But yeah, I knew she was going to be that fast. What caught me by surprise was that I couldn't see the punches that she was throwing. So people are faster than me, but if I can see what they're throwing at me, that's totally different than getting hit by a punch you can't even see coming. Does that make sense? And that's never really happened before in a fight. I mean,
well, a lot of times you just bully people because you're so strong. So
yeah.
You just get them up against the cage and take them down and just pound the shit out of them. And was she like much stronger than the other girls that you fought, or was it something how come you couldn't bully her?
Every time I came forward, she hit me fucking hard. So I was like, okay, this is not working out very well. And like I said, I couldn't see him coming. So I was like, she might actually knock me out with one of these punches, which
was it
I've
because
never
of the angles? Was it because she had like odd angles that you weren't anticipating, or was it the speed?
I think it was the speed and probably her angles. I know she was hitting me with a check right hook, but I couldn't see her like loaded up. I couldn't see her, like, all I would feel was it landing and I couldn't see it coming at all, and that was the punch that started like the last sequence of the fight. That was the punch that like really put me on roller skates. But yeah, Adam, and then one time I did get her to the cage and I grabbed her leg. I was going to go for a takedown and it felt like I was moving a statue. It felt like I was trying to move like a boulder. And so I didn't get the takedown. And I really, actually, we went back to the corner after that round, and I almost sat down in the corner and was like, well, we're fucked. I don't have anything for you. But then the cameras were on me, and I was like, fuck, you know, my coach is watching from a hotel somewhere. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't want to do that. So anyway, it was a pretty hopeless feeling. She's very, very, very good at everything. You know, there's not a lot of weak points.
And so are you. I mean, I just think that it was one of those nights you had a rough night, but I don't know. I just was like, the whole time I'm like, Lauren's gonna get her. Lauren's gonna get her. I'm like, dude, you don't understand Lauren. She's fucking, dude, this is and it just, you know, it shit happens, but you're what, one fight away from getting a title shot again? I mean, you're right there, 2 fights away. So
I think, yeah. So Valentina, it's crazy to even think about, but I watched her fight all these girls before me, like Chukagian and Andrade. And those girls, they would break and get finished, and then they were never trying to get back to the championship. Like Chukagian had a bunch of opportunities to call out Valentina again and just never did. And I thought, like, why are those girls doing that? And now I kind of understand why they broke and like just how good Valentina actually is. And I think that for me to feel confident to face her, I would have to have like at least 3 really good performances, like in the top 10, outstanding fucking performances where I'm feeling myself. And maybe if I have 3 really good performances like that, then I would feel comfortable asking for a title shot.
What's up, people? Bet Online would like to wish you a very happy new betting year as we continue to march to the playoffs and beyond. Bet Online remains the #1 spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year. It's a new updated desktop and mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code CLNS50 to get started. They got football, basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC, to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, check them out now.
Now, normally you always text me back, win or lose. Like you always like, I text you, I call you, and then
yeah.
I don't want to be like, what am I gonna like? You know, I'll give her some space because. So I texted you, I didn't get back. I'm like, fuck. And I was like, oh, I hope she's not. Because were you depressed? I mean, depressed, or did you, like, how do you handle that?
Ooh, I was sad. I was so sad, you know. And so it took a while really to sink in, like everything that had happened. After a couple weeks, I started like looking back at the camp and looking back at things that we should have done differently. And then, and that, you know, it was a hard process, like looking at what we did wrong, like looking at that fight and saying like, I felt like this, I reacted like this, I performed shitty, and here's the reasons why. That's a hard process to go through, you know, but we're still going through it. You know, it's getting better. Obviously I'm happier now, but yeah, I went through a couple months where I was really depressed and sad and didn't really want to leave the house. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm a professional athlete. Winning is awesome. I love to win. Losing sucks. This is my livelihood. But I also have an awesome life. Like, there's just no, you know what I mean? Like, and
you also lost to possibly the GOAT. I mean, she's probably at this point, I think she could probably take out Amanda, right?
Bill, I don't even know her story. This girl was like, all right, quick summation. She was 15 years old. Her dad was a pilot, died flying a plane. She left him 50 grand, fucking parties her fucking ass off, has a kid, ends up on heroin, loses custody of the kid, fucking gets custody back, half custody, takes a jiu-jitsu class with the kid. Fucking 6 years later, she's fighting Shevchenko.
6 years later.
Fucking.
So I took a jiu-jitsu class with my son, and then 4 years later, I was in the UFC. And then 4 years after, well, like 4 or 5 years after that, I fought the champion.
The other girl started when she was 4. I mean, like literally,
it's true.
started when she was 4.
Yeah.
She had 120 fucking fights where you were in rehab. I love come that. On. I mean, let's. I mean, not saying that you can't beat her, because I think you can. I think Juliana Pena proved that anyone doesn't fucking matter. You know.
Right.
But let's you know, let's take a step back for a second and go, look how far we've come and look how far we're going to come. I mean, you know, so.
Yeah, no, it's not always, you know, it's not, I was just talking about this yesterday. Like, it's not always about what you've accomplished. Sometimes it's more about the ground that you've covered, you know, and if you look at like where we started, you know, like we've made it pretty fucking far. And there was a time where I just literally wanted to pay off my debt. I was like, I'm just going to fight until all my debt, like my court debt, you know, is paid off. And now it's like so much more. Like my son has like a college account and we own a really nice house, and I gotten to have some really cool experiences in the UFC and beyond, you know. But yeah, it definitely didn't start like that.
So, I mean, you have to like, I mean, come on. Shevchenko's literally like a fucking machine. Like those kids from Russia, they fucking factory. I mean, look.
I'm telling
you saw Rocky IV. You know what they do with them.
She's a robot, dude, and I didn't think she would be like that. I thought, oh, she's human. I fought lots of girls. They all fucking are human at some point. But man, Shev, she's something else.
Somebody's gonna beat her. Somebody will beat her. Somebody will beat her. Like just like, you know, Nunez. But it almost like takes like Juliana Pena. Like even with Pena, I'm like, dude, this girl doesn't give a shit. Like she's convinced she's gonna win. It's like when I used to watch Tiffany Haddish do comedy. I used to watch her bomb for an hour straight and then come off stage and like she fucking murdered. Like there are certain people that just don't give a fuck. Lauren, unfortunately, you're not one of those people.
I know. How can we do this, Adam? We need to find a way to give less fucks.
Yeah, you have to really, but you have to actually not have whatever the disease you had in your fucking gut and like be, you know.
Well, yeah, with all those things that went bad for you that week, and also, do you have any new game plan if you were to have a rematch with her? Is there something this is the element?
I would smoke a lot more weed probably if I was going to fight Shevchenko again. I'd be a lot less stressed.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. If I was going to fight Shev, I think there was definitely like a disconnect. This is a weird way to put it, but it's just fucking true. Like I didn't really understand the assignment, you know, like Calvin Kattar the other night, he understood the assignment. Do you know what I'm saying? And that should, like, I should have been fighting like that. And I guess I just could not shake the idea that at some point she was just going to be like everybody else. But she's not like everybody else. And that's why she's the champion. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. But God damn it, we're learning it. We're learning it.
Do you think a brawl would be the best way to beat her, though? Because it seems like anybody who tries to outpoint her is going to lose. But
I think the way to beat her would be if your corner man handed you a gun between rounds. No, I honestly don't know because, you know, on the ground, we went to the ground and she was on top and I was still like, okay, we're on the ground. I feel good here. We're going to make something happen here. We're going to scramble here. No, fuck no. She held me down like nobody's ever held me down before. I've trained with men.
Wow.
I've trained with I've won jiu-jitsu worlds. I've competed at high level in jiu-jitsu. I've rolled with Mackenzie Dern and other world champions. Nobody's ever held me down the way that Valentina did.
Side control? She had you in side control?
No, she had me in top half guard, and she was looking to pass to mount. And so we kind of got into a little battle with our legs where I was trying to keep her from passing to mount. But her top pressure was extremely heavy. It was very good. And again, like you're right, Adam, somebody's going to come along and beat her and they're probably going to make it look kind of easy. And then we're all, you know, I'm going to feel real stupid. But like that night, I'm telling you, it felt like a different animal.
When I watched her throw Jessica Eye on her head, like she was like, she threw her on her head like she was a child. Jessica's a fucking pretty strong person. Like she back. And then head kicked her into oblivion. But Pena was beating her. Juliana Pena was actually winning until she got caught with the triangle. Like, I don't know. I think you have to have, like, I wish there was a way to, maybe there is somewhere to, like, one of these life coaches that, like, they tell you, like, how to not give a fuck what anyone thinks of you.
I know. Because, like, yeah, even Juliana Pena, who didn't give a fuck, still went out there and got armbarred, you know? Like,
armbar, right. Yeah.
Armbar, whatever. Yeah, but fuck, I don't know. We were thinking, like, okay, maybe we'll get a guy and Valentina will fall in love with him and get distracted during fight week, and then she'll be operating.
Hilarious.
You know, like, we're like trying to get my friends to like go to her room.
That's what I was thinking about Kanye. You know, everyone's like Kanye West now is flipping out about Pete Davidson. You know what he's doing. So Kanye's making.
Oh, didn't he like buy a house or something across from Kim?
Yeah, and then he's making songs saying he's gonna kick his ass, and then
really?
Yeah, he's doing all this shit, right? I'm like, during his concert, he's dedicating songs to her. The problem is, here's the problem, is that Kim Kardashian's sister, Kourtney, right, is dating the guy Travis, whatever his name is.
Travis Barker, yeah.
Right, and then the other girl that they're friends with, Megan Fox, they're like a little trio, is dating, and then is dating Machine Gun Kelly. Right? So they all want a fucking triple date. So he has to break those up. He's focused on the road. If he breaks them up, he's not going to hang out with. And then she's going to be like, what the fuck am I doing this to Pete? But they all want to hang out. Oh, did you call Pete? Did you call? Because they're all fucking.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's the way to do it. You have to think outside the box there. He's going for a direct fucking, no, man. You gotta break up the friends.
He's going to need a couple wingmen too, probably.
Now,
also, you don't get his street cred. Try to pick a fight with Pete Davidson. He's 6'5", 104 pounds.
Well, Jake Paul said he wants to fight him now because he has Kanye's back. Like now, it's fucking the whole thing.
Jake Paul and Kanye together.
I know. Can you imagine?
Kanye's gonna find the next fucking Triller or something.
Dude, it's crazy. The whole thing is nuts. Now I gotta ask. Now, when you're depressed, right? Sometimes my wife's depressed. Or I'm depressed, and then I just fuck her. Like I just bang her really good.
Yeah.
And then, like, does your husband go just lay down, Lauren, and just smash until you feel better, or no? Or do you?
Well, even when I'm not depressed, yeah, that's. No, but you know what? Guys always think this, Adam. Guys always do this. They go, "Oh, you're sad. Oh, you're depressed. You know what makes me feel better if you gave me a blowjob."
Oh, yeah. Really? That message.
No, guys always do that. That's what guys always think. They're like, "Oh, you're sad. You want to have sex with me, right?" And like, no, not always. Just fucking rub our back, or you know, tell us we look pretty or something. But guys are always like, "Oh, she's sad."
So,
for sure.
I mean, so do you throw him out of the room? Because he's also your trainer. Do you throw him out of the room, or because
I'm like my coach said, no sex before a fight. Sorry.
He's also like a Marine, right? Was he a Marine?
No, he was in the Air Force. Well, he is in the Air Force. He's a senior master sergeant.
So does he like stealth bomber you, like fucking like hide underneath and out of the closet and just fucking like incoming?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do. I would want to make you laugh. I would think after sex, you'd at least forget about the fight. Although, I don't know. I mean, what do you
I don't know. I feel like I got fucked pretty hard.
Like a fucking chick makes you feel better, Bill, over something?
What's that? What do I do?
No, have you ever been depressed where a chick like bangs you to happiness?
Oh, I mean, I will definitely say threesomes 100% are like, they're better than Zoloft, for sure.
Yeah, dude, Lauren, I know Lauren. She's not bringing in any fucking chick. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah, no, it's not happening unless they want to die.
Well, that could be fun.
Lauren's a hottie, but she's also a ride or die chick. Like, she's not like, she's with you forever. And her husband's like the coolest. He's a black belt. He's like 6'6", and he's just got that like chill demeanor about him, where like you could tell nothing really gets to him. But if he gets mad, he'll fucking murder you. Like, he's just one of those guys. But that point is high, right?
Yeah, it really is. He's got a long fuse, you know. So he's a really good guy. Like I was saying, like he's the best. So, but you've met him before, Adam. Like,
he's one of the coolest. You guys honestly have not met someone from Alaska that I didn't like. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Alaskan people are just like, it's almost like a different cut. They're not like part of America. They're just like different. Like what's your name's boyfriends from Paige Van Zandt. Everybody was trying to fuck Paige Van Zandt. And some fucking dopey guy from Alaska comes along, and he's just the chillest fucking guy. Like, you met Austin, right?
I haven't met him, no, but I did hear he was from Alaska. And then like Sonny's from Alaska.
Yeah. Me and Gina used to hang out, and I don't want to talk about that because now she's a female. Dude, so me and Gina used to date, right? Like, I wouldn't say date. We do. So I go to watch the fight, and she's fighting, right? And now she's dating Tim Elliott, and they're like together, and he's like a real nice guy, Tim Elliott. I don't really know him, and I don't know that he knows that I used to date Gina, right? So, so me and someone else, we sneak down to the front to watch the fight because we're like, it's really early, and of course I'm in Tim Elliott's seat. Like out of all the people, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So he goes, no, man, you can sit here. He goes, you were here first. And I didn't know what he meant by that. Like, I didn't know if he meant like you were here for like, but thank God I was just like, ha, 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 and walked away. Cause I'm like, it's like he meant the seat. He didn't mean Gina. Yeah. But Tim's a good dude though. He's actually a really nice guy. So
we did the same thing like back in the day. It was years and years ago, like when Uriah Hall was first in the UFC and he was real popular, you know. And we did the same thing. We had seats, but we like snuck down to the front because there was nobody there yet. Well, we were in fucking Uriah Hall's seat, and he went and got an usher. This usher was like, I know, this fucking usher's like 105 years old, and it's like Methuselah, you know, and fucking Uriah Hall brought him over and made the usher come over to us and fucking tell us to get out of the seats. He's like, these belong to somebody else. I'm going to have to ask you to move. And it was like Uriah Hall standing behind him, mean mugging us. I'm like,
oh, come on.
Man, you couldn't just fucking come ask us yourself. You know damn well we ain't got these seats. you know damn well we'll just move over.
That's why he'll never be a champion, Uriah Hall.
Handle your own business. Shit.
Dude, Uriah Hall is like such a nice guy, but I just think he's bad with like people. Like he's bad with conflict. I could see him doing that because, dude, and it's so funny because he has the worst luck and stuff. Like he was at the MMA awards. I'm with him at the MMA awards, and it was the year that like Israel Adesanya won every award.
Yeah.
And people kept congratulating Uriah Hall because they thought he was Israel Adesanya. and he's like, after like the fifth time, he's like, why do people keep telling me congratulations? And I had to break it to him, like, bro, I'm pretty sure they think that you're Israel Adesanya. Yeah. And the look on his face.
You know America is racist, right? You get that.
Dude, the look on his face, I was like, it was so sad. I was like, fuck, man. Like, yeah.
Sorry, dude.
But he's cool. He came to my comedy show and he's like, I should be offended by your jokes, but I really like them. I'm like,
okay, cool.
Now, Lauren, have you and your boyfriend ever been out and like an altercation happened, or someone tried to pick a fight with you? Was there ever like a public thing where something went down and like you guys were in the mix and you had to stop it or get involved?
No, not really, because mostly like if we're together, like a man would never talk shit to me, and women just don't. Like women see me and they just know, like don't.
Yeah.
You know, but so women never really pick fights with me, but there's been a couple times where I've had Joe go kick somebody's ass like at an open mat or like at an open sparring, like if a guy like fucking tries to hurt me or is going crazy on me or something like that, then I'll be like, hey Joe, go regulate that guy. He'll go,
wow.
I like that.
Wow. That's really, so a guy was sparring with you, he was landing too many rights or something, right? And then you went up to him and said, hey, and then he was like, hey, but you guys are different weight classes, right? I mean, so sparring, like stand-up sparring, there's only been one time where Joe stepped in and was like, get out. Like there was, and it was actually during the fight camp. It was like the guy that gave me the concussion. We were sparring and he cracked me a couple times, and the guy's big. He's like 180 pounds. And so Joe was like, you know, you're never going to spar with my wife again. Like, get out, you know? And so that was a big thing, but more like jujitsu. Like if we go to an open mat or if we're at a new school or if it's just a hard jujitsu class and some guy is like fucking trying to hurt me or just being a dick, like, I don't, you know, just shit guys do, cross-facing super hard or fucking muscling you around, then I'll be like, hey, Joe, that guy was a fucking dick. And he'll go take care of it. Yeah. Bill, how do you go against when you're rolling with, like, high-level females?
It's been a while, to be honest with you. At Henzo Gracie's, there's a bunch. And usually, they're feisty. A lot of them are, like, really feisty. And so it's, you know, it's weird because you don't want to be too hard, but you also don't want to be submitted by a woman. That sounds awful, but you just really don't want to be submitted by a woman.
We don't want you to go light on us. So
I know.
So my rule these days, this is kind of my rule now that I've developed over a long time. And actually Valentina does this too. This is her rule as well, is that I've trained with people the same size as me. So it really keeps injuries to a minimum. The only exception I would make would be like training with my husband, who's obviously not my size, but we know each other so well, or like a coach or a high level black belt, something like that. But for the most part, if my training partners are my size, then we're all safe.
Okay, this what happened. This happened to me real quick. I was at Alliance in New York City just a few weeks ago when I was filming something there, and there was a woman there, and she was she's probably 115, and I was going light. And she was like, "You don't have to go light." I'm like, "Okay." And then like I at one point I turtled up, and she put her forearm around my side, so I trapped it with I did this trap, and I flipped her over. And she flew over, went, ugh, and let off a big. It's my first day at Alliance when this happened.
Oh no! And she
and everyone's looking at me, and I'm like, I look like this asshole who came in throwing this little Asian girl around. I'm like, eh.
Have you ever had a girl go for heel hooks or something during like a fight camp, and you're just like, what are you doing? Or a guy go for heel hooks or knee bars or something where it could really hurt you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mind that so much because like I'm not a white belt, and a heel hook or something somebody might do in an MMA fight. But more like if a guy's like bench pressing you off the top of them, or just like, I don't know, cranking on your neck super hard, like and if they weigh more than you, then obviously there's a big discrepancy there in strength, explosion, pound for pound strength, cardio, all of it. So, but yeah, if I just go with guys that are about my size, then it negates a lot of that. So
what do you think about Misha going to 125?
White noise for babies.
Sorry. No, you're good. I love it. I'm stoked. I hope she has a great camp. I hope she stays injury free and healthy and makes 125 pretty easily. I think she'll be big and strong at this weight. So let's go.
Is it already signed, you and her?
I have my bout agreement sitting on my printer. I just need to sign it and send it back.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? I'll do it right now. We'll do it on the show. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go get it.
That's awesome. Now that's a high profile fight for you. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's probably gonna be main event, right?
I don't know. I know it's a fight night, so that would be sweet if it was a main event. I mean, she's a former champion. I'm ranked number 3. Hey, did Katlyn Chookagian not get re-signed? Are we all getting bumped up the rankings? That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know what. No, she probably got re-signed. I mean,
I should say they should re-sign her, but they might not. They might not.
I mean, where's she going though? She's not gonna go to Bellator or PFL. I mean, she's got nowhere else. I mean, it seems like who knows.
I don't know. So I can see why the UFC would tell her never mind, because people don't. She's a decisionator. Like, people don't love watching her fight. Okay, and she's kind of clogging up the division because she beats everybody and nobody cares. So that sucks. It's frustrating because she's so fucking good. So I think the UFC.
It says despite her 3 fights in a row, it was reported on January 16th. The bout with Jennifer Maia was the last fight on her contract, and she declined to negotiate a new contract with her. So she's technically now a free agent. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know where.
If I were her though, I would go to PFL. I would shoot for that $1 million because she is good enough and light enough on her feet. She might be able to get by them 155ers.
She'll get murdered by Kayla Harrison.
Yeah, Kayla's a beast.
I mean, that's not even going to be. And I like it, but it's a 125 pounder versus a 145 pounder. 155 pounder, right?
Katlyn probably walks at 138 or something, and Kayla probably walks at 168 or something.
Yeah, that's not gonna be. I mean, Kayla Harrison is fucking jacked, and the nicest person, dude. Kayla Harrison. I don't know if people know this, like. So, Bill, she was a victim of like sexual assault by her judo coach. She was like in jail for life.
Oh my God.
This girl goes around giving speeches, just like all this. She won the gold medal twice. Only American to ever do it, men or female. Then she goes into the PFL, wins like wins $2 million in a row, and then she adopts 2 kids. She has 2 kids that had like a terrible childhood. Some shit went on. I don't know if I'm at will.
They might be related to her. They might be
I'm not sure that's even public, but so now they're living with her. So when she told me this, I'm like, dude, your life keeps getting like better but worse. it's like it's beautiful what you're doing, but Jesus, like it's like a lifetime, like not like a movie. It's like a whole series of. She was dying laughing. She's like, I know exactly what you mean. Like she was.
But Adam, when you see people like her and then like Lauren, who had all these issues in the past, they're doing so well. Doesn't it make you wish that you had like an addiction or got abused or something just so you could be more successful?
My mom left when I was 3.
Okay.
My dad she was in a mental hospital. I haven't seen her since I was 3. My stepmom and I never got
That's
along.
true.
I got sent to fucking
And I've met your dad, so
my
there you
dad
go.
had major addictions and stuff, but that was one of the things that like kind of drove me was like, oh, I remember my wrestling coach is like, in high school was like, why is he so good? And he's like, where's your mom? I'm like, I'm God. He's like, well, that's where it comes from. I think there is something, but then you got guys like Kenny Florian who, came from a business degree and like, it seemed like I had nothing, or BJ Penn who came from money and had a great life, and look what they've accomplished. So I don't think you always have to have like the worst possible fucking scenario I think it's you, but I think if you have some kind of if you have that inner drive, whether or not you come from greatness or not, or a stable place, whatever. But anyway, I'm saying that Kayla Harrison is just going to run through, hate to say it, Kaylin Chukagan. She's just going to close the distance, grab her, take her down, and it's going to be like a big sister beating up a little sister,
Yeah. Well, I don't know what Caitlin's going to do. I don't know where she's going to go. But
so this is an official bout agreement. This is
an official bout agreement. This is the signature page. I'm not going to show you guys the other pages, but this is the signature.
One page saying that you will fight Miesha Tate.
Yeah, here.
I love it.
Let me figure this out.
That's a good fight, Adam, don't you think?
I think it's a great fight. I think Miesha looked great in her comeback fight. I think she didn't look bad in her last fight. She didn't win, but it was pretty damn close against.
Okay, you guys ready? Here we go.
Yeah, and I think Lauren is a monster. I think if she beats Lauren, then she's the next in line for the title shot. Miesha, this is a great fight for her. And I think if Lauren beats Miesha,
What is the beat today?
She beat the most recognizable name in fighting, or at least top 3. I mean, my wife doesn't know who Valentina Shevchenko is. She knows Miesha Tate.
Yeah, of course.
That's pretty big, So
but let's be honest, Lauren, you feel pretty confident that you're going to destroy her. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah.
Well, they match up well. I mean, Miesha's got good wrestling, but Lauren's got great wrestling as well. They both got good striking. They're both tough. They're both gritty. Neither of them have ever got tired. None of them have ever really broke. Miesha kind of was breaking towards the end before her first retirement against Raquel. But most people have 2 kids and that's call it a fucking career. Miesha popped out 2 kids and got fucking more ripped and looked better. But if you've ever seen Lauren in fight camp, her fucking arms, her back, she's like the hand job princess. One fucking
I got the kung fu grip, baby.
Oh my God. You and Sarah McMahon are just fucking oh my God.
You know who else? Have you ever seen Tatiana Suarez in person?
Yeah.
Her shoulders might be bigger than mine. Maybe.
And she is the sweetest.
So nice. But she is jacked. That chick is jacked.
Tatiana Suarez. So I got her a job. I'm like, you want to present an award at the MMA Awards, right? She didn't want to. She just did not want to, right? And then during the award show, I'm looking for her, and I'm like, where's Tatiana? And I could tell she didn't want to. She's like, do I have to brush my hair? She was texting me do I have to put on a dress? I'm like, what? Why am I making this person So then I'm during the award show, I'm thinking she's mad at me because she didn't present. She's hiding in the fucking corner, and I'm like, are you upset that you're not? She's like, no, you made my night. I don't want to be in front of people. She was like a fucking child, hiding. Another girl that beat cancer, national champion, wrestler. So no one even talks about her. It's fucking criminal because
it's only so long. But she was one that I thought could maybe. I wanted to see her fight Valentina. When she said she was 25, I was like, oh, that'd be cool.
Dude,
because
fucking
murdered. There's somebody with a skill set that is complementary basically, to Valentina's skill set. They have, I guess I should say opposing skill sets to where it would be I don't know. I think it'd be badass. I would like to see Tatiana in there with Valentina.
Dude, she ran through Carla Esparza 10-8. Carla Esparza is fighting for the title next, and Suarez beat the shit out of her. And I don't know if there's ever been a more forgotten person right now in MMA than Tatiana Suarez. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, MMA fans, their memories are short, and Tatiana's been out a long time, so.
Dude, they're short, and then they come back, and it's like, look at Ortega. Like, Ortega is like the next big thing, and then he gets like just shit beaten out of by Max Holloway. Fuck Ortega. Comes back and like murders the Korean zombie. Ortega, and then he loses again, and everyone's like, oh, he's like, what the fuck kind of fan base is this?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, it's really heartbreaking because like it's really hard to have a dynasty fighter. Like if you're a Patriots fan, how many years do you have where you can just ride on that? But like your Anderson Silva fighter, next thing you know, like 3 years later, he's out. It's just hard.
Yeah. You can't be like a guy with a fighter for like, forever. Even if you're like Chuck Liddell, he's probably one of the most famous, well-beloved fighters, in the history of whatever, Chuck Liddell. And if you were like, yeah, Chuck Liddell, like right now, people would be like, they wouldn't, like make no sense to them. They would know who Chuck Liddell is, but they're just more into like Israel Adesanya and Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah. Tyron Woodley, 3 years ago was like T Wood, and then now it's like I wonder if I took him to like with me to a basketball game, people would boo him. Like how many people would attempt to fight him? Like
he started rapping probably.
Dude, like fuck, man, like this fucking poor guy. Like I don't know. Anyway, so this week, because now we have a real pro, and we're supposed to have Terrence McKinney on, but I don't know where he went. Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. Who wins this fight?
Cyril
Wow.
Gane. His footwork is better. I think his striking is just super clean, and he's very long, and he knows how to use it. I think he's just going to kind of dance all over Ngannou. I don't think Ngannou's footwork is good enough to keep up with Gane. And I know that with Ngannou, it only takes one. Like it only takes one, but it's hard to land that one if you can't get close enough. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Cyril Gane is long, and he knows how to dance.
It seems like he lands that one on people who also are trying to land that one. But guys like Ngannou who know that, or Gane that know that like he doesn't have that one punch. Like he's not gonna be that dumb,
Yeah. I remember watching him fight Derek, watching Gane fight Derek, and Derek just could not catch him. And I thought Derek looked better than Derek has looked, in a lot of his past fights. I thought he looked pretty good in the Gane fight. He just could not catch him.
Does he need a mental coach, Derek? Because it seems like he quits sometimes. Like,
hey, he's got Joe Murphy, so that's the. I don't know, because I like Derek and we both train with Bob, but we're not like, we don't sit around and have deep discussions, So yeah. I know that he felt a lot of pressure before that fight, and that he felt like just the whole weight of the world was on him. Cause I seen him for his camp a couple days ago. I just saw him, and he looks like happier and lighter and freer, and he's joking around. And before that Gane fight, he was so like, it just looked like something literally, like he was wearing like a backpack or something that was like weighing him down.
If I was managing that guy, I'd be like, listen, if we're going to fight in Houston, which is where you're from, we're changing your phone number like 3 months out.
He does. He gets a new phone number every fight.
Because people are going to be hitting up for tickets, and it's going to be a distraction. Give your number to one person and then go through that person. Because he seems like the kind of guy that would, like, if you asked him for something, he would do it. But then you're like, it's just going to take forever,
Yeah.
Luckily,
it's hard.
Go on.
Oh, no, it's hard for guys like Derek, too, because he's so famous that he never knows, like, if people are talking to him because they like Derek, or are they talking to him because they think he's going to loan him money? Are they talking to him because Derek, or are they talking to him because they want him to buy a new car for them? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's hard on Derek to figure out who's talking to him because they actually like him, and who's talking to him, like, because they think they're going to get something out of it.
Dude, I was at, I think, his first UFC fight, and I was sitting right behind Dana White, and I think it was like I think it might have been one of those, like, Ultimate Fighter, like, shows at the finales, and no one knew who he was, but he just fucking threw heat, and Dana was like Dana's look like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, everyone was like, whoa. Like, and one of my favorite fights was when he was on the ground, and he just stands up from, like, he's basically in mount, literally just stands up.
Yeah.
And Brian Stan is like, he's doing everything wrong.
He was fighting Roy Nelson, I think, in that fight, who's a Henzo black belt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing everything. Dude, when someone says you're doing everything wrong and you're still doing it, like that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He's doing everything wrong. Like literally not just like one thing wrong, like the entire fucking process is wrong. All right, Brandon Moreno versus Figueroa. By the way, Figueroa, like his management always, I fucking love his management. Like they always reach out to me like, hey, can you give us some jokes for some of these people, right? And I like love these guys. So he's like, so I gave him some jokes, which I know that they're like, I was like, all right. Cause he fucking, I go tell him, he named Moreno my dick. On Saturday night, the whole world's going to watch me beat my dick. So.
I like it. He didn't use it?
I don't know. He goes, I go tell him that I give him the belt because it was Christmas and he wanted to give his son a present. That's why he lost the thing. And then after he gets the job done, Moreno, he's gonna make Brandon sneak back into Mexico. So we'll see if he says any of these things. I don't have whatever. We'll
Adam, you should start a business, okay? MMA Roasted. MMA Roasted is the perfect name, and you can just write jokes for fighters to talk shit to each other on Twitter and on the countdown show.
I mean, you're already
right now.
doing that.
Right now, there's like 9 of them that I give fighters to.
Start charging them, motherfucker.
I never charge them, and then I see like guys that speak no English will do my joke on ESPN all of a sudden. And then people are like, I think it was like one of the Pitbull brothers that was like, 50 Cent was going to get with his air, and he's like, oh, if he gives him the money, it'll be his first hit in 100 years. And I was like, everyone's like, how did the Pitbull brothers get such a great joke? Like literally.
I remember when he tweeted that. I was like, eh.
Oh, dude, there's so many of them. And then I track it, and some people will be like, Adam, are you giving this guy jokes? And I'm like, I'm not gonna. But yeah, there's a lot of them right now. So Moreno versus Division Figueroa. Who wins, Lauren?
Ooh, I hope Moreno, I guess. I don't fucking care. Figueroa's cool too. I don't really care. Fuck him.
Bill, who do you like?
Congratulations, Moreno, on being the first Mexican board champion with the shortest reign. I'm going with Davison.
And then who do you like in the Ngannou fight, Bill?
I mean, I just can't imagine betting against Ngannou. But has Cyril ever lost? Has he ever?
No, he's 10-0.
He's never lost a
only had
fight.
10 fights. The other guys only had 15 fights, so it's not like these guys are like weathered fighters.
Yeah.
So and then the other guy, it's funny, man. For pay-per-view, it's like, Michel Pereira. He's the guy that does all those flips. It's the funniest thing ever. He does he was in the Brazilian circus. He's fighting.
I didn't know that. You got to look everybody. Shit.
Yeah, he was in the circus. That's how he learned how to do all that shit. Against Andre Fialho. He's gotten better since he stopped doing 100 backflips, but it's not as fun to watch.
Yeah.
So it's like he's a better fighter now, but it's not like he would do the craziest shit. I never saw a guy do a front flip into guard. It was insane.
Yeah.
But he's fighting Andre Fialho. Who do we like in this fight, Lauren?
I don't know much about Andre Fialho. I don't know. I'll go with the Andre guy.
Got it. All right. So Vanessa Demopoulos?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. She's fighting.
Yeah. So she was a girl, Bill, that wrote the Stripper Bible. She was a stripper.
Oh,
and
that's right.
She got offended when I asked her about it.
She did.
Well, we also had
Hanato
on. We had Hanato on the show too. Probably not the best pairing. I thought it'd be fun to have, and it was just. I don't think she knew Hanato was a character.
Hanato got under her skin a little bit, huh?
It was a little thing of maybe she was having a bad day, or I don't know.
Got her fired up.
I probably could have handled it better too.
Well, which episode was it? Because now I want to go listen.
There was a lot edited out, so. But she's fighting Silvano Gomez Juarez. I don't know who that girl is, but dude, this girl Vanessa is hilarious. She was fighting this one girl from I want to say Ireland, who trains over at Team Alpha Male. Forgot her name. She's adorable. This girl. She did a cartwheel in the middle of the fight, like for no reason. She does a cartwheel, and the other girl just looked at her and goes, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like it was one of the. She goes, "Okay." Like she was so fucking mad about the cartwheel. It was. I'm gonna see if I can find it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's McKenna something, the other girl's name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That chick is fucking good. Vanessa's good too, but that little Irish girl from Alpha Male, she's fucking good. She's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I got her. I helped get her a little sponsorship because my wife works for this makeup company called Play. That the girl from Cobra Kai is in charge, like the bad girl in Cobra Kai. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
We were looking for to fight like girls that look young that like fight, not young, but like it's like geared towards high school, you know?
Yeah.
And it's only like 20 years old or something. So it was like
baby fights.
Yeah, it was the perfect. Her mom was a fighter too.
And, really? The Irish girl? McKenna,
and then they were on the same card, McKenna. And
no way.
I swear.
So we had her on the podcast.
Yeah, and then she almost fought her mom. Because, like, they said, like, remember she was saying that, like, one of the opponents dropped out, and they were like, all right, I'll fight you. And they're like, fucking, like.
Dude, that's wild. Imagine that. Like, you have to fight your parent. Would you fight your mom?
That would have been terrible. I mean, talk about, like, what. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. And then Kay Hansen, who I'm not sure about the direction of this girl. Like, I like Kay Hansen. She's the one that was 16 years old, and she got like a scholarship to Harvard, went into fighting. She's a badass, 7-4. Now she has an OnlyFans, and there are a lot of ass shots. It seems like I'm not joining it. I haven't joined her OnlyFans. I don't know. I mean, I guess free the butt, right? But who knows? I just Misha Tate got in trouble. Do you have Misha's comments about OnlyFans?
No.
Oh, so she said that she doesn't have an OnlyFans because she's not desperate. And then all these girls started roasting her because they're like, what do you know about OnlyFans? And who cares? Who cares?
They started posting pictures of like Misha, like, not desperate, huh? And she's like in like a bondage costume or something. Or like,
oh, really?
It was like,
damn, Adam, you got to start screenshotting this shit because I missed all of it. I haven't been on Twitter. I get on Instagram, but
you're better than you're better than this. This is a complete waste of time because
I am not. I refuse to be better than this.
You do not need to be fucking that girl Paulina. You know Paulina Granados, whatever her name is. So she tweeted out, "Oh really? Like you're too good for OnlyFans, not desperate," and had a picture of Misha in like a very. I thought she looked great, but I could see why. Because I guess Paulina has an OnlyFans or something, and like it was just And then I wanted to retweet it, but like Misha follows me, and now we're friends, and now I'm like,
yeah.
Do I want to get involved in this at all? Like I'm 43, I have children or a child. Like, is this really what I go through? But at the same time, it's like funny. It's like because then I know that my followers are all gonna make funny jokes. It's hard.
But the only thing I'll say is like, whenever you mess with like the sex world industry, it is literally like hitting a bee's nest with a stick. It is. Trust me.
What happened? What did you do?
It's a long story, but you just say one comment that like diminishes that industry. It's worse than fucking with fighters. I'm telling you.
What happened?
You don't want to do it. Oh, I mean, just like I got swarmed and bombarded. My account got suspended and all sorts of stuff. And
but what did you say?
It was nuts.
Just tell us the truth. What happened?
I just asked some girl. I said, I said something about OnlyFans, like a kind of like, I hope you didn't do OnlyFans like everyone else is doing. Like, and then she just went off on me.
Oh yeah.
Called me a piece of shit, loser, blah blah. And then she like called the Laugh Factory, tried to get me banned. I mean, it's nuts. And all of her friends were retweeting her. It was crazy.
Yeah, Paulina.
So
what's her name? Paulina Granados. How do you spell it? I'll show you the picture. Paulina.
It's like Grana. It's like Grana with a 2 or something.
For some reason, my like screen share is not working, but I'll see if I can find the Misha thing because it was kind of funny. She was. Oh, maybe she kind of put it down.
Well, I mean, also Paulina's 4-4. She needs the OnlyFans. She's, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she took it down, but she also has some hot fucking shots. But I mean, Paulina's like, posting this shit about. This is Paulina. So,
Hi, Paulina.
but new tan lines. If anybody wants to see her tan lines, I mean, she's
Tan lines.
yeah.
Well,
So, but yeah, she was mad about Misha.
I
Paulina,
was gonna start an OnlyFans for my dog. What do you think?
yeah, I
She
think
looks good, right? Like, we could
Expose nipples.
we can make this like super sexy, don't you think?
Paulina Misha. Hold on, Paulina. I can't even find it. But what was that girl's name? The McKenna, right?
Yeah,
Corey McKenna.
Yeah.
Corey McKenna. There you go.
I'm like trying to find that thing that was like really funny. I think you'll get a big kick out of it. Hold on, MMA roasted. Man, this is why we need fucking Rogan. He has that like.
Yeah,
Pull
Jamie.
it up. MMA
Yeah.
roasted. Yeah. You should be on fucking the Rogan podcast, by the way. Has he ever asked you?
Hell no, he's never asked me. I've only talked to Joe Rogan like twice, and it was both times it was after I got the shit beat out of me. So, one time I won the fight and still got the shit beat out of me. That's okay.
Does he have a lot of fighters on his podcast that are currently in the UFC?
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking like big names like Valentina, Derek Lewis, Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, but he also gets people that aren't that big. I kind of feel like he would like have you on.
Yeah, maybe. Put in a good word for me next time you see him.
I definitely will. I can't find it. I think I just put it down. Yeah. Anyway, so the girl did a cartwheel and she looked at her like, "Fuck you." All right. So finally, who wins? Masvidal or Colby Covington?
Whew, I'm hoping and praying Masvidal pulls this one out.
Why?
Well, because he signed with First Round, and that's my management company, and so that's cool. And like, I feel like we're kind of on the same team. Also, Colby Covington, just like I get, it's a character, and people watch him. I'm gonna watch him, I'm gonna watch him because I want him to lose. So I'm one of those. I'm on team fucking fuck Colby. You know what I mean? And I never even met the guy, but just that's how sports are. So I'm rooting for Masvidal.
Now, I mean, it's just crazy. There's a guy literally. Remember, after Ben Askren, Masvidal was the biggest star in the UFC, and then it kind of like, I wouldn't say it went down, but he fought those two Usman fights were rough. There he is.
We were talking about you earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All good, of course.
We were saying you were a hero, and that a couple times guys beat her or in sparring, and then you came and beat the shit out of them.
Regulate.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for your service. And even though Air Force, I know, is the weakest out of the branches. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. I heard it's the smartest. I heard you got it right. And they have the hottest chicks. They do have the hottest chicks. I mean, not that you would know.
The hottest chicks?
I think the Navy's got that
one. Cool. Well, listen, Lauren, how can people follow you, talk to you, what?
So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter 50% of the time, Lauren Murphy MMA, and then I'm on Instagram a lot. So come hit me up. I do interact with the fans, and Lauren Murphy MMA across all social media.
And Bill, you?
It's just Bill Dawes, and I'm headlining the Creek in the Cave in Austin this weekend. If anyone wants to come, 4 shows.
Nice.
So there it is. Yes.
Nice.
And I by the way, I emailed you the Corey McKinney cartwheel video.
Oh, really?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You emailed it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't get it. But yeah, we're obviously we're very advanced here. But well, anyway, thank you so much, Lauren. Take care.
Yeah, you're the best, Adam. Talk to you soon.
Love you. You're the best. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was
at Hunter the Comic at AOL. Is that not your email anymore?
That's my old one, but it should have came through.
Oh shit.
I know it's all good. But here it is. Oh yeah, but meanwhile, here we go. So if you guys want to see, if you guys can see, hold on. Oh. So the girl does a cartwheel. Ready? It's one of the funny.
Repeat.
So here we go. She hits her. Girl's tough though. Vanessa's tough. But that's one of the funniest things. She head kicks her right here. She goes 1, 2, and then she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a fucking cartwheel for some reason. And then she's like, what? There was like no reason for that cartwheel.
This one, like, what?
I love shit like that though. That shit makes me laugh.
I know, it's great.
So anyway, what do you think of Lauren? She's great, right?
Yeah, she's awesome. She'd be a great host for Joe. She's got a great sense of humor. She can take a joke. I mean, it's funny because you are always respectful, but you were definitely yourself with her, and you were like saying like all sorts of like, blue shit that she loved.
Oh, the first time I met her, she came to my show, and she's like, I'm like, where should I come? She's like, on my tits. She yelled out, on my tits, like during the show. And I was like, me and her are going to be friends forever. So, yo,
great.
thanks, Bill. Have a great week. If you guys are in Des Moines, Iowa, I'm there Friday and Saturday night at the Funny Bone in Des Moines, Iowa. And take care, Bill.
All right. See ya. Thanks, man.